Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network, and today's topic is all at once, all the feelings all at once, particularly in a situation of grieving, loss, to be experiencing the gamut of emotions that occur when we allow ourselves to be present. So we get to talk about this today because Maggie, if you're not familiar, is a green cheek conure who is a super personality, and she flew away on July 18th, which happened to be my birthday, and I don't have her back yet. Hopefully, I still hold out some hope that maybe she'll be found and we'll be reunited. But anyway, before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs and flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells and all your organs, and bringing vital life energy throughout your body and your being. And as you exhale any tension, any stress, any negativity, fatigue. And let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant bright light lighting you up from the inside out, electrifying, illuminating, energizing all your electrons, all your molecules, lighting up your cells. And as you exhale any remaining stress, tension, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just gently press our palms together. Softly, softly, softly rub your fingers against your palms and feel the deliciousness of that sensation to bring yourselves present right here, right now. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's been a very interesting few days. And what I'm noticing is the sort of confusion of having such a complete range of emotions all at once, and being present. This is what I talk about all the time, is being present, even when we're grieving, when we're depressed, when we're joyful. These are moments. These moments are fleeting moments, right? They're moments of sorrow or elation, and they can follow one after the other. We don't maintain one emotion consistently, and there's a tendency to generalize, to say, I am sad, I am happy, I am grateful. Whereas as opposed to saying, I am feeling sad, I am feeling happy, I am feeling grateful. And when we allow ourselves to not be identified by our emotions, we have a greater capacity to be present, to really be present to what is there. And yet in a situation where there's upset, and I can say that that's the case for me right now, this second. When I think about Maggie and her not being here. Good morning, Elaine. Welcome, welcome. I'm navigating lots of emotions, lots and lots of emotions. My cat is really happy because Maggie tortured Jewel. So it's really interesting to see how radically her behavior has changed. You know, she's much more present with me. She's been more affectionate. Um, she's more, she's just a lot happier. Um, but for me, it's been a roller coaster, and you know, it's sort of crazy making to see how um, how in one moment we can be bereft and brokenhearted. Hi, Robert. Haven't seen you here for a long time. Welcome, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Um, so, Elaine, thank you. Thank you. Elaine says thank you for sharing your realness. I don't have a choice. You know, it is what it is. This is just how it is. Good afternoon, Pat. Welcome, welcome. So for those of you who are just chiming in, Maggie flew away on, I can't even say it, on Sunday, the July 18th, which happened to have been my birthday. And anyway, so since then, I've been really, really experiencing such a huge range of emotions. Welcome, Tammy. It's so good to have you here, and thank you for your wishes. Um, Elaine, I know that we do always have a choice, and I am choosing to be here and be present with you. And good morning, Grace Isis. Thank you so much for being here. Um, anyway, what I'm noticing is how um, how bizarre it feels to me to be uh, to be experiencing all these emotions. You know, like in this moment right now, I'm sad, but I was able to function throughout the day yesterday, to rise to the occasion, to be present for my clients, um, to be taking care of whatever needed to be taken care of without this profound sense of sadness. I guess being here somehow with you, I feel licensed to be feeling the feelings. It's not that I was repressing them or suppressing them. So the thing that I'm looking at, and I imagine as you have experienced grief in your lives, I'm imagining that you too probably felt like, wow, this is just crazy. It feels crazy to have such depth of emotion in one moment, in another moment just to be living life like nothing ever happened. And yet this is being present, like being present to the moment, like with my cat, just being present to loving her up, and how much more at ease she is now that Maggie's not here, you know, and to just be able to be connecting with life, you know, to be seeing and feeling the beauty of what's here right now also. so it's almost like moving from one dimension into another where they're not connected somehow. It's just wild. And what I have known and what I have said to people that are experiencing grief, especially, is feel your feelings. When you're sad, be sad. When you're happy, be happy. When you're excited, be excited. Be, feel the feelings as they arise. Feel what's there to feel. And grief is such a strange thing. It's not in any way linear. And so all these things are happening all at once. And there are moments when we'll feel overtaken by the emotion, and other moments when it's as if it doesn't even exist. And I find it remarkable, the fluidity of our mind and being. How we can just run the gamut of emotion and experience in such a compressed period of time. It's not like it builds and it's just not linear. It's wild. And it's like a whipsaw, and I just look at it and it's like, wow, what a container we are for the experiences of life. And so much of the time those experiences unfold with some grace or some continuity. And my experience so far with this right now that I'm sharing with you is that I'm all over the place. And I feel disoriented. I in some moments I'm so deeply in grief that it feels all consuming, and other moments life is just fine. Everything's fine. And so I think the prescription here is to be where you are when you're there, and not feel, not that, there were even moments of, or thoughts of, feeling guilt for not feeling sad, which is, it's crazy how we project how we tend to judge ourselves, in like this running commentary, just that's even there a little bit, it's just like, I should be feeling this way or that way, which, I don't succumb to that, but I had a moment's thought about, well, what if I'm fine now? Like, when is it okay to be fine? Interesting, right? It's like, when is it okay to be, I guess it's okay to be fine when you're fine. Yeah. Elaine says, learning how to navigate the emotions through feeling center of the body and just allow all to flow naturally with no assistance or needed from the mind. This process is orchestrated perfectly for us to expand. So along that line, Elaine, I come back to life is happening for me and through me rather than to me. In other words, it's all perfect. And I'm looking for how this can be perfect, how I can allow it to be perfect. It doesn't feel perfect. And yet I do hold to that belief and that context, and looking for the gift. And Elaine says it's already perfect right now. Yeah, I can imagine that. I just don't feel that right now, and what I notice is how we resist the way that things are. So there are times when it's a lot harder to find the perfection in things, for sure. But I can allow that it is, whether I recognize it or not, whether it feels that way or not. And Elaine says, I know you don't feel it right now, and that's perfect too. Yeah, I get that. I get that. So grieving is a process, and moving through it is by being present to it, by being present to what's there when it's there. And that's the lesson for all of life, really, is to be present to it. And there are times when what's present is heightened emotion, right? Where that emotion brings us back to our bodies in so many ways, to be aware of the sensations of the sadness, and even the sensations of the tears, coming out of your eyes and running down your face, to be present. Elaine says it has felt very I can't interpret what you said, Elaine, sorry. Tammy says, I never feel like I have gifts, but I must be partly empathetic, as I just feel like crying with you and wishing I was right there to give you the biggest hug. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. I'm just thinking about the gifts. I can say that I really did experience Maggie as a tremendous gift. And And I, yesterday, maybe it wasn't yesterday, it was on Sunday afternoon. And I talked about this yesterday. There was this little bird. There's a wire that goes across the roof, and I was out on the roof calling for Maggie and just sitting there meditating. And this little bird, it was some kind of finch. That it was like had splotches of red on it, and it just sat on the wire and talked to me, like literally just talked for about a minute. And I don't consciously know what it said. I talked back to it, asking it to bring Maggie home. But it was the coolest thing, you know, and it was such a gift. Um, and I do feel happy that I appreciated Maggie while she was here. You know, I just really enjoyed her so much. Um, but what I really wanted to talk about today was how strange we are. You know, how strange we are to be able to in 1 minute be bawling our eyes out, and the next minute be taking care of business, you know, unaffected, you know, just to be able to carry on um, like normal. And Tammy says, no, she was a gift to all. I loved her. She got so talkative at the funniest times. Yeah, she really did. She was such a character. Hopefully she still is, you know. And I hope she still is. So Elaine says, grief is felt very deeply. I've been there many times. As I love myself unconditionally through process, no judgment needed. Well, I think it's a challenge to allow ourselves to go through all the phases, you know, to really feel the feelings when they're there, and all of that. Really, I mean, that's life's lesson, is to be present for all of it. And it is it is very wild to be with kind of the observer self also, while we go through these transitions, and to see how we embody. It's almost like living in parallel dimensions all at the same time, but in heightened moments or periods, you know, especially with grieving, because it's such an intense experience of emotion. To be going from that extreme to another extreme, and you know, like to even neutral from there, just seems like such a radical jump. And it happens in such rapid fire, you know. It seems to me anyway, just like like whiplash, you know. It's just like, wow. um to be able to feel so overwhelmed by emotion, and then to be totally composed the next moment. It's just, it's wild. It's wild. And to be able to conduct business as usual, and then at another moment to be, you know, barely able to put a sentence together. So Elaine says it does take practice. So many are afraid to feel. Well, I do hope that, I mean, you have it, we need to feel to heal. That's just how it is. You know, emotion is energy, and if we don't allow it to move, it is going to find a place to manifest itself in our physicalness, you know, so we get to feel our feelings and feel what's there when it's there, you know, and allow it to move. And Bernadette, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Thank you. Bernadette says unity of emotional support. Thank you. And Robert says it's good to practice non-attachment, but in these situations and circumstances, that's very hard to do. So the thing, Robert, and I'm so glad you said that, is that I have moments of that. You know, I have moments with it's just, it's fine, it's perfect. Life is okay. Life is unfolding and it's beautiful. And I have moments when the grief isn't there at all. And I can be present, you know, to that Maggie's not here, you know, and not having the overwhelming emotion. And I think with non-attachment, it's important to make a distinction between non-attachment and disassociation, or separate, you know, like complete shutting down. I think that it can be possible to fall into a place of shutdown or denial, and, you know, like spiritual bypassing, to not feel the feelings that are there, in the name of non-attachment. And there's real non-attachment too, where we can allow life to unfold in its perfection, you know, without grasping or clinging, you know, to be letting what's there be there. And I get that, you know, there's a place where this is just all drama. But the emotion, the energy of the emotion for me right now is there. And it's not out of, I don't think it's out of attachment. It's just there. And you're welcome, Elaine. I think, you know, hopefully, if anything, you know, you who are listening and watching are gaining some courage to feel your own feelings. You know, we need to do that for ourselves to be able to move through, you know, it is part of life. It's part of what we came here for, part of the human experience, right? So Bernadette says it's out of the loss. Yes, for sure. And Robert says, as you said, to allow the feelings to express themselves through emotion. and being able to just observe them, not let them manifest, like the movie Equilibrium. I don't know that movie. I'm gonna have to check it out. Thank you for that, Robert. Yeah. So Elaine says, I have a client. I love you and Maggie in this now. Thank you so much for being here, Elaine. And thank you all for your love and your generous hearts and your input. I so appreciate it. And Elaine says, I have a lot of practice feeling emotions. That's why I can stand with others and their pain. You know, that's so for me too, Elaine. And I think that that's the gift of the challenges of our lives that we experience. I was thinking of endure or survive, you know, like all of those things that going through the darkness and the depths, that gives us the strength to be present with others and to be so unflinchingly. So thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Robert. It's an action movie, very interesting to watch. Equilibrium. I'm gonna check it out. I love watching movies. Anyway, I just so appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your love and your wishes and your sharing and your compassion. And I look forward to being back here again with you soon. Until next time, I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live each weekday morning here on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. And I invite you to be part of the Enlightened World Network community, so rich with love and compassion. Until next time, so much love.